Welcome to this explainer. Let's just jump right in, shall we? Today, we're unpacking a truly incredible story about defying the odds. We're looking at the life of a young woman who looked at the restrictive societal expectations placed on her, completely shattered them, and in the process totally redefined what it actually means to be wealthy. It's a masterclass in resilience, and honestly, I am so excited to guide you through her journey today.
I want you to imagine, just for a second, standing at your own father's funeral. You're dealing with an unimaginable loss, right? And instead of getting comfort from your community, you hear these cruel whispers. The girl is of marriageable age. Who will marry her? The people around you aren't even mourning. They're actively questioning your family's survival, your worth as a young woman, and practically treating you like a burden. Well, this is exactly where our story begins, with a young woman named Rajni.
So, Section 1. Grief and cruel gossip, the aftermath of tragedy.
During her father's 13th day ritual known as the Teravi, the atmosphere was just thick with malice. Whispers literally replaced grief. Neighbors were actually suspecting Rajni of wrongdoing, whispering things like, "Something must be wrong, I'm sure Rajni has done something." They even warned each other to stay away from the grieving family, terrified that Rajni or her mother might ask them for a handout. And the worst part, Rajni heard every single word. It left her mother in absolute tears, just completely despairing over how they were going to survive, how they'd pay for her younger sister's education, and of course, how Rajni would ever find a husband.
Which brings us to Section 2. Defying societal expectations, a bold decision. Rajni makes a choice. She decides she's going to reopen her late father's food stall. Her mother's reaction is instant panic. "Have you gone mad? You're a girl. People will laugh." You see, her mom is terrified of the social stigma, warning her that a girl sitting alone at a shop just doesn't look good to the community. But Rajni's logic here is razor sharp. She tells her mother, "Look, people are already talking. Fearing the opinions of these gossiping neighbors isn't going to put food on their table." All right, Section 3, the struggle for independence, opening the stall. Backed by her younger sister, Rajni heads out into the chill of the railway station the very next morning to pull up the shutters on that closed shop. It is a rapid uphill battle. Day 1, she opens the doors, completely ignoring the stares and whispers from the crowd. By week 1, she's actually serving her first plates of hot puris and sabzi, the traditional fried bread and curry, earning her first money and hearing customers say it tastes just like her dad's. But look at how fast things escalate. By week 2, she's facing intense harassment from local boys, telling her she can't run a shop and should just go get married. And by week 3, she is threatened with total closure. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is how she reacts to this intense pressure. After that first day of earning, Rajni went out and bought basic rations, just flour, rice, lentils. Immediately, the lanes started maliciously whispering about how much she bought, hinting she must be doing something shady to get that kind of cash. But instead of crying, Rajni steps right outside and delivers this absolute mic drop of a declaration. This house may have lost its man, but his daughter is still alive. She publicly, boldly demands they stay in their own houses if they have a problem with their honest hard work. It's just a stunning moment of self-advocacy.
Moving on to Section 4, an unexpected ally, the stranger in the crowd. So, remember that threat of closure we just mentioned? Right when the shop starts really finding its groove, officials suddenly show up. They tell Rajni her permissions are incomplete and they're shutting her down immediately. Rajni just breaks down. Her entire lifeline is about to be cut. But then, who quietly intervened to save Rajni's shop? Out of nowhere, a stranger in the crowd steps up, speaks quietly to the police, and like magic, the officers announce that actually, everything is fine and the shop can stay open. Her livelihood is saved from absolute ruin.
Enter Ranjit. This is the guy from the crowd. Shortly after saving her shop, he starts dropping by, and eventually he asks Rajni for work. He becomes her unexpected utensil washer. He pitches in around the shop, taking on the heavy labor, and over the days, they build this really genuine bond, based entirely on mutual respect and resilience. There's this great moment when Rajni admits to him that she really isn't as strong as she looks, and Ranjit just looks at her and says, "Hey, if you were weak, the shop wouldn't be standing."
But then, we get a twist. Why did Ranjit suddenly leave? Just as feelings are genuinely starting to develop between the two of them, Ranjit abruptly drops a bomb. He announces he has to go home. He leaves Rajni all alone, burdened with this strange, heavy sadness, just wondering what on earth happened to this incredible bond they were building.
Here's Section 5, the grand revelation, a hidden identity.
Not long after he leaves, this enormous, expensive car pulls up right to Rajni's home. A very well-dressed woman steps out, hugs an incredibly confused Rajni,
and joyfully calls her daughter-in-law. Then, Ranjit steps out. He reveals he is actually a wealthy man who completely hid his identity. And you really have to notice the stark contrast here in how she was perceived. The villagers viewed Rajni as a weak burden, right? Someone whose business ventures were improper and shameful. But Ranjit's view? Because he was literally in the trenches washing dishes with her, he saw her for the absolute powerhouse she truly is, strong, honest, and hardworking. He disguised himself specifically to find a partner who loved him for his character, not his wallet, and he hit the jackpot with Rajni.
And it gets better. When Ranjit asks her to marry him, he doesn't ask her to become some traditional, dependent wife. He tells her, "You will continue running your father's shop even after marriage." He completely validates all of her struggle. He promises she can keep that independence she fought so hard for. And the ultimate poetic justice here. The very villagers who cruelly mocked her at her father's funeral are actually forced to come to her and apologize.
Finally, Section 6, the true meaning of wealth, the core lesson. This whole remarkable emotional roller coaster brings us directly to the absolute core takeaway of this explainer. The true currencies of wealth, they aren't what you have sitting in a bank account. This narrative beautifully illustrates that the truly strong and rich people in life are the ones who live by three pillars: hard work, self-respect, and honesty. Rajni didn't have a dime to her name, but she was armed to the teeth with these three traits, and those exact traits are what carried her through the absolute darkest period of her life and ultimately secured her family's future.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Do you judge people by their bank accounts or by their true resilience when the world bets against them? Really think about how you measure true worth in your own life, both in yourself and in the people around you. Rajni's story proves once and for all that genuine character is a currency that never, ever depreciates. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible journey with me today. Keep learning, keep pushing forward, and we'll see you in the next explainer.